Okay, let's unpack this. Something that really touches on a core aspect of male identity, I think, and confidence. But it often feels, well, complex or maybe even a little sensitive to talk about. Sexual performance?
It definitely can feel that way. There's a lot wrapped up in it.
Yeah, and there's so much swirling around it, but what if the fundamental truth was, surprisingly simple?
Well, that's what's interesting. We've been digging into this really insightful article. It's simply titled Blood Flow and Male Confidence, a deep dive.
Yeah.
And it argues pretty strongly that the bedrock, the foundation of male sexual performance and confidence,
Yeah.
it isn't some mysterious thing or a quick fix.
Right.
It actually comes down to a fundamental biological process.
Yeah, the article makes a really powerful case that the absolute cornerstone here is quite literally your blood circulation.
Exactly, your blood flow.
It's the physical foundation, really. Everything else is built on top of that.
And so our mission in this deep dive is basically to walk you through the key insights from this source. We want to show you the basic science behind this link.
Okay.
Explore how the pressures and, well, the habits of modern life are impacting it.
Which is a big one.
Huge.
Yeah.
And highlight the surprising ripple effects good circulation has, beyond just the bedroom. And most importantly, give you concrete, natural steps the article suggests you can actually take to improve your circulation and, in turn, your confidence.
Right. Consider this your shortcut, maybe, to understanding this crucial connection. Armed with specific facts and, actionable knowledge straight from the article, let's dive in.
Okay, so what's fascinating is how the article breaks down the physiology first.
Mm-hmm.
It describes an erection, medically they call it tumescence,
Tumescence, right.
as essentially a hydraulic event.
Hydraulic event,
Yeah.
like plumbing. That's not the first image that comes to mind.
Well, maybe not the most romantic description, perhaps, but it's pretty accurate in terms of the mechanics. It really is powered by fluid dynamics, the movement of blood.
Huh.
So it all starts when your nervous system sends out signals. These signals basically tell the smooth muscles within the penile arteries to relax.
Okay, so they open up, like relaxing lets more through.
Exactly. This relaxation is like opening a valve, right? It allows a really rapid inflow of blood into two specific sponge-like chambers inside the penis. They're called the corpora cavernosa.
Corpora cavernosa. Got it.
And as these chambers quickly fill up with blood, they expand.
And that expansion that's the key part of the whole process.
It is, yeah. Because as they expand, they actually press against and compress the veins that would normally drain the blood away.
Okay.
So this compression traps the blood inside those corpora cavernosa, and that's what creates the rigidity and the firmness needed, well, for penetration.
Okay, that's the hydraulic part. Blood rushes in, gets trapped, contained. It's like biology using simple physics almost.
Precisely. And the fundamental point the article really stresses is that this whole intricate process, it hinges entirely on having, one, healthy blood vessels that can relax and expand properly.
Right.
Two, adequate blood pressure to actually drive that inflow.
Makes sense.
And three, efficient overall circulation. So if blood isn't flowing effectively throughout your body, the system just can't operate the way it's supposed to.
So it's not just about the, let's say, local plumbing down there. It's really a system-wide cardiovascular function.
Absolutely.
And this is where the article gets particularly, well, impactful, I thought. It points out that our modern lifestyle seems almost purpose-built, like it's designed to undermine this crucial circulation.
Yeah, he uses pretty strong language, calls it a silent saboteur of vascular health. And it highlights several key factors in modern life that are actively working against good blood flow.
Like what are these silent saboteurs it talks about?
Well, the most obvious one, perhaps, is just sedentary behavior.
Just sit around.
Yeah, the article points out how much time we spend sitting often, 8 to 10 hours a day for many adults.
Guilty as charged for a lot of us with desk jobs.
Totally. And this persistent sitting, it leads to blood pooling in your lower extremities, which reduces the overall efficiency of your circulation. And over time, a lack of movement actually weakens the heart.
Your main pump.
Your body's central pump, yeah. And it compromises the flexibility and function of your blood vessels everywhere in the body.
So being a couch potato, or even just a desk jockey, is literally slowing down your blood flow. Okay. What else did the article pinpoint?
Chronic stress. That's a huge factor mentioned. Constant stress keeps your cortisol levels elevated.
The stress hormone.
Right. And the article explains that this causes blood vessels to constrict, to get narrower. Plus, it drives systemic inflammation, which further damages that delicate lining of your blood vessels over time.
Yeah.
It's a double whammy.
Stress literally squeezing your pipelines. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense when you put it that way.
Absolutely. And then there's diet, of course. The article calls out processed foods, things high in trans fats, excess sugar, loads of sodium. These are major contributors to arterial plaque buildup,
Like gunk in the pipes?
literally clogging the pathways that blood needs to travel through freely. Clogged pipes are bad for any hydraulic system, right?
Definitely.
And finally, sleep deprivation. Not getting enough quality sleep, it disrupts vital hormone production, and it increases inflammation. Both of those have negative downstream effects on your vascular health and blood flow.
Wow. Okay, so you've got sitting, stress, poor diet, lack of sleep, all kind of ganging up on your circulation. And the article is saying this directly impacts male performance.
It does. But it's
Mhm.
really crucial to understand, and the article emphasizes this, that the vascular sexual health connection goes beyond just the ability to, achieve an erection. Good blood flow supports the entire sexual experience.
How so? What else does it affect?
Well, for one, it impacts libido and energy levels.
Mhm.
You need adequate blood flow to transport hormones effectively throughout the body.
Right, the messengers.
Exactly. And just to maintain the overall energy levels required for sexual activity itself.
Okay, so it fuels the desire and the stamina. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
It also significantly affects sensitivity and pleasure. Optimal circulation ensures that enough blood can actually reach the nerve endings,
Ah.
which enhances sensation and generally makes the experience more pleasurable.
More blood flow means more feeling. Hmm. That's a really interesting point I hadn't considered.
Yeah, it nourishes those nerve tissues. And good circulation also aids in recovery and stamina during activity. It does this by efficiently delivering oxygen and nutrients to muscles and tissues.
Fuel delivery.
And just as importantly, clearing away metabolic waste products.
So better stamina and you bounce back quicker? Yeah, definitely important.
And critically, dying back to the title of the article, optimal physical function naturally boosts confidence. The article really highlights this positive feedback loop.
Yeah.
When your body is working well, especially in an area like sexual performance, you just feel inherently more confident.
That positive feedback loop is huge, isn't it? It's not just the physical results driving the confidence. The feeling of being in control, of looking after your physical health, is confidence boosting in itself. Now, the article also flags some potential warning signs, things that might suggest your circulation needs attention, stuff that men might sometimes just brush off as, oh, I'm just getting older.
Yes, exactly. It lists several signs that shouldn't necessarily just be accepted as part of aging. Difficulty achieving or maintaining erections is, of course, the most direct one,
Okay.
as is a noticeable reduction in morning erections.
Right, those are pretty clear indicators, I suppose. What about things less obviously linked to, down there?
Well, the article mentions less obvious signs, too, like consistently cold hands and feet. That can indicate less efficient blood flow reaching the extremities. Also, experiencing fatigue easily during physical activity or getting leg cramps during exercise, those are classic signs that your muscles aren't getting enough oxygenated blood when they need it most.
Cold extremities, getting tired when you try to move.
Yeah,
Those really do point to blood just not getting where it needs to go efficiently.
exactly. And two more the article lists are slow wound healing. Yeah, and persistent numbness or tingling, maybe in your hands or feet. These can indicate that compromised blood flow is hindering tissue repair and maybe nerve function.
Okay, so if you're noticing any of those things, maybe don't just automatically chalk it up to age. Worth paying attention to. The good news is, the article doesn't just list the problems. It lays out a clear path for natural solutions.
Absolutely. It presents lifestyle changes as the primary and really the most powerful approach. And it positions cardiovascular exercise as, well, arguably the single most effective way to boost circulation.
The ultimate booster. Wow, that sounds like a strong endorsement. What kind of exercise are we talking about and how much?
The article recommends aiming for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise each week. So think brisk walking, jogging, swimming, cycling.
The usual suspects.
Right, or even incorporating some high-intensity interval training, HIIT, if that's your thing.
And why is just moving so transformative for blood flow? What's the mechanism?
Well, exercise strengthens your heart muscle itself, making it a more efficient pump that moves blood more forcefully with each beat.
Okay, stronger pump.
It also improves the elasticity and flexibility of your blood vessels, allowing them to dilate and constrict more effectively as needed. And fascinatingly, it promotes something called angiogenesis.
Angiogenesis.
Angiogenesis, yeah. It's the growth of new tiny blood vessels, like capillaries. So it actually improves the network of pathways for blood flow.
Wow, creating brand new routes for blood. That's incredible. That's really powerful.
It truly is. Now, beyond cardio, the article also emphasizes the value of strength training, as it complements aerobic exercise
How so?
by building muscle mass and improving overall metabolic health, which indirectly supports vascular function too. More muscle helps with insulin sensitivity and things like that.
Okay, so don't just pound the pavement or hit the pool, lift some weights too. What kind of strength training did it recommend?
It focuses mainly on compound movements. These are exercises that work multiple large muscle groups at the same time. So think squats, deadlifts, push-ups, pull-ups, and core exercises like planks. Big bang for your buck exercises.
Got it. So cardio and strength are the movement pillars. What about fueling the system? Nutrition must be key.
Oh, absolutely critical for feeding healthy blood flow. The article highlights some specific foods, nitrate-rich vegetables like beets, spinach, arugula, celery. So these are stars
Nitrates. Why nitrates?
because the body converts those dietary nitrates into nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is a crucial signaling molecule that tells blood vessels to relax and widen, improving flow.
Ah, nitric oxide again. So load up on leafy greens and beets. Okay, maybe not everyone's absolute favorite, but sounds important.
I like chuckle.
Important indeed. The article also points to omega-3 fatty acids. You find those in fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, walnuts, flax seeds.
Healthy fats. Right. These are key for reducing inflammation throughout the body, which is really damaging to blood vessels. And they also help improve the vessel's overall function. And antioxidant-rich foods.
So like berries.
Exactly. Berries, dark chocolate, the good stuff, high cocoa content, green tea. These are mentioned specifically for protecting blood vessels from oxidative damage like cellular rust.
Berries and dark chocolate. Okay, you have my attention now. I'm definitely paying attention.
And don't forget, simple kitchen staples like garlic and onions. They contain sulfur compounds that have actually been shown to help relax blood vessels too.
Okay, so a diet that's really colorful with the vegetables includes those healthy fats, antioxidants, and maybe a little pungent flavor from garlic and onions. Seems like the way to go for circulation.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned stress as a saboteur earlier. What does the article suggest for managing that?
Yeah, stress management is presented as pretty much non-negotiable for vascular health because of that constriction effect we talked about. Stress literally tightens things up. So the article advocates for consistent techniques like meditation or mindfulness practices, taking moments for deep breathing exercises throughout the day.
Just pausing to breathe.
Yeah, prioritizing adequate sleep, really aiming for that 7 to 9 hours most nights, and actively scheduling time for relaxation, whatever that looks like for you.
It's interesting how sleep and managing stress aren't just about feeling better mentally. They directly impact your physical circulation. What about hydration? Does that come up?
Oh yeah, fundamental. The article reminds us that proper water intake, aiming for at least, say, 8 glasses a day, maybe more if you're active or it's hot out, is crucial.
Why water specifically?
It helps maintain healthy blood volume. If you're dehydrated, your blood gets thicker, harder to pump. Good hydration keeps it flowing smoothly and reduces the workload on your heart.
Okay. So we have exercise, diet, stress management, hydration. Those are the core pillars from the article. It also touches on the idea of advanced natural support, right, for when lifestyle changes might need a bit of an assist.
Yes, exactly. The article acknowledges that while lifestyle is absolutely the foundation, some individuals might benefit from more targeted natural support. It discusses specific compounds that are known to support nitric oxide production or general vascular health.
Nitric oxide, again, that key vessel dilator we talked about with the nitrates in veggies.
That's the one. The article talks about ingredients often found in supplements designed for this, mentioning things like L-arginine and L-citrulline.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, they're amino acids, essentially building blocks the body uses to create its own nitric oxide. It also notes ingredients like beetroot extract, which provides those natural nitrates we discussed.
Right, from the source.
And hawthorn berry, which has a long history of traditional use for cardiovascular support.
So the idea behind supplements like the one mentioned, Nitric Boost Ultra, would be like a blend of ingredients working through multiple pathways, maybe, to support that nitric oxide system and overall vessel health.
That seems to be the approach discussed, yeah. Supporting different points in the pathway for potentially a more comprehensive effect rather than relying on just one mechanism.
And for someone listening, thinking, okay, this makes sense, but how do I actually start implementing all this? The article actually breaks it down, doesn't it? It suggests like a phased approach.
It does, yeah. It provides a kind of framework for creating your own personal circulation optimization plan. Phase 1, covering roughly the first month, weeks 1 to 4, is all about foundation building.
Laying the groundwork.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is where you establish that consistent exercise routine, make concrete improvements to your diet, actively implement stress management techniques, and really ensure you're getting quality sleep. Just getting the basics locked in.
Okay, solid foundation first. Then what? Phase 2.
Phase 2 is called intensification, typically weeks 5 through 8. Here, you might look at increasing the intensity or duration of your exercise. Maybe you get even more deliberate about incorporating those specific circulation-boosting foods.
Fine-tuning the diet.
Right. And this is often the phase where someone, based on the article, might consider adding those natural supplements if they feel they need extra support. It's also a time to start really monitoring how you feel, tracking changes.
Okay, stepping up the commitment and maybe adding support. And phase 3.
Phase 3 is optimization. This starts around week 9 and basically continues long-term. This phase is all about fine-tuning your routine based on the progress you're seeing, maintaining that crucial consistency across all areas.
Sticking with it.
Yes. Getting regular checkups, maybe to track broader health markers, and adjusting any supplemental support as needed based on how things are going.
That phased approach makes it feel much more manageable, doesn't it? Rather than trying to overhaul everything overnight, start with the foundation, then build and refine.
Definitely less overwhelming.
You mentioned the confidence aspect earlier, and the article really seems to bring home that mind-body connection here.
It's a vital point they make. The article stresses the psychological impact. Simply taking proactive steps, taking action to care for your body and improve circulation, that naturally boosts confidence.
Even before you see big results.
Yeah, that feeling of taking control of your health, even before seeing dramatic physical changes, it creates this powerful, positive cycle.
So the very act of starting this plan, of prioritizing your well-being, can lift your confidence, which then fuels your motivation to keep going, leading to better physical results, which then further boosts confidence. That positive feedback loop seems incredibly powerful.
It really shifts you from feeling maybe like a passive victim of aging or circumstance to feeling like an empowered participant in your own health journey. It's a mindset shift, too.
Absolutely. However, the article is very clear on a crucial caveat, right? Knowing when professional medical help is necessary.
Absolutely essential. These natural approaches are powerful, but they are definitely not meant to replace necessary medical care or advice.
So what were the specific triggers for seeing a doctor that the article listed? When should someone definitely seek medical advice?
It highlights a few key situations. One is the sudden onset of erectile dysfunction, like if it comes on very quickly.
Okay, sudden change.
Or a complete or near complete inability to achieve erections at all.
Yeah.
Also, if you have diagnosed cardiovascular disease already or other related metabolic conditions like diabetes.
Underlying conditions.
Right. Those need professional management. And finally, if you have persistent, concerning symptoms, despite consistently applying these lifestyle changes for a reasonable period.
Got it. So listen to your body, make these healthy changes, work the plan, but definitely consult a doctor if there are sudden or severe issues, or if you have those underlying health conditions, or if things just aren't improving.
Absolutely. Lifestyle changes are about optimizing your health foundation, but specific medical conditions need medical expertise. And finally, the article really emphasizes the long-term perspective here.
Meaning it's not just about, immediate performance in the bedroom.
Exactly. It frames improving circulation as a true investment in your overall health that pays dividends far beyond the bedroom for years to come.
What kind of wider benefits did it list?
Well, things like a significantly reduced risk of heart disease. Circulation is fundamental to heart health. Improved cognitive function, your brain needs tons of good blood flow, too.
Brain health, okay.
Enhanced overall energy and vitality day to day. Crucial support for healthy aging in general, and even potentially a stronger immune system, as good circulation helps immune cells travel where they need to go.
Wow, okay, that's a tremendous return on investment then. Improving circulation benefits your heart, your brain, your energy levels, how you age, even your ability to fight off illness, potentially. It really does seem like a foundational aspect of overall health.
It really ties so many bodily systems together. And for anyone listening and wondering, okay, how quickly might I see changes if I do this? The article does provide some realistic timelines.
That's helpful. What kind of time frame should someone reasonably expect if they really commit to these changes?
It suggests that improvements in general energy levels, and maybe that confidence boost we talked about, often begin relatively quickly, maybe within, say, 2 to 4 weeks of starting.
Okay, pretty fast for feeling better, generally.
Yeah, but more significant changes, specifically in sexual function and performance, those typically take more time and consistency. The article suggests those often become noticeable within about 8 to 12 weeks of dedicated, consistent effort.
2 to 4 weeks for an initial lift, but maybe 2 to 3 months for the more pronounced physical results. That really underscores the need for consistency and patience, doesn't it? Like any meaningful health change, really.
Absolutely. It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint, as they say, but one with pretty significant rewards all along the way, starting quite early.
So wrapping this up, what does this all really mean? We started exploring a topic that can feel, well, loaded or complicated, but this deep dive into the article seems to simplify it right down to fundamental biology. Healthy blood flow really is the bedrock of male sexual performance and confidence.
Yeah, it cuts through a lot of the noise.
And the truly empowering message, I think, from the source is that powerful, accessible solutions lie in the natural choices we make every single day: exercise, diet, stress, sleep.
Exactly. The article gives us a clear understanding of the problem, the circulation connection, and really actionable steps towards the solution. It reinforces that taking control of your vascular health is, in many ways, taking control of your sexual vitality and overall well-being.
And perhaps the most provocative thought the article leaves us with may be something for you, the listener, to consider right now. Taking steps to improve your circulation today isn't just about the potential benefits you might experience in the coming weeks or months.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah, it's a critical, long-term investment in your health, your energy, your confidence, and your vitality for years and years to come.
It's like building health capital for your future self, a deposit in the bank of future well-being.
Well put. So, based on everything we've covered from the article today, what one single, maybe small step could you take today to invest in your circulation? Maybe it's just standing up and walking for 5 minutes right now instead of sitting. Maybe it's choosing that handful of berries over a sugary snack later, or just making a firm commitment to get to bed at a reasonable hour tonight.
Small steps add up.
They really do. Your future health and your confidence will absolutely thank you for it down the line.